It's that time of year again. That's right, shed hunting. We usually start the beginning of March, and then we'll go into April, and it's the end of April right now. So I don't know if we'll find anything. Usually when you start getting into May, June, July here in the Midwest, they'll start getting eaten by rodents. Let's see. Alright, no bite marks on this one yet. But I found this one at the beginning of March. I found this one in mid-March. And we're going to go... I already saw a shed out there on the back of my property. So I'm going to kind of show you how I haven't touched it yet. So we're going to show you how it is. And then I'll show you what I do to try to track deer to my property to drop their sheds. And then we'll talk about when is the best time to look for the sheds. Alright, let's go find the shed. Some of these sheds, it's actually pretty hard to, find. What I do is, my preferred method is I find a deer trail, like so, and then I get down every 5 feet or so, and I look under the underbrush, okay? Now, if you're not looking for that shed, right there, you're not gonna find it. It's right there. It's been out here probably for a while. It's white. This thing is white. It's been in the mud. You can see the rodents right there have been eating it. If this would have stayed out a little, there's more rodent marks. And right there. If this would have stayed out here much longer, this would have deteriorated. But that's my method is, I go and I look under the underbrush. This honeysuckle, stuff like that, that's gonna knock their sheds off. Also, I got this big field. We try to drive through there and look for sheds. Occasionally we'll find one in there, but I haven't found one this year in the field. Both the other ones were found using that method that I showed you. So this is our third shed this year. 2017. So actually that's a match to that one. Look at that. That is a match. You can see this little crooked, like looks like a Harry Potter wand on that. It's the same exact on this. That's pretty cool. You can see we found this when it was probably a fresh shed. There's no rodent marks. It's still got the brown going to that. This one's bleached out. It's been sitting in water. It gets real wet back here. We've had a lot of rain. And then it was sitting in mud. So that's actually really neat. I don't think I've ever found a match before. So that's pretty cool. There's a match. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That'd be a 10-pointer. It's still alive. That's why we look for sheds, is because it, for one, that's cool to have. I got a shelf of them. And two, you know what deer are still alive on your property. So now I know there's at least a 10-pointer walking around here. And then the other one is a little, it'll be a 8-pointer because it's 4. So what we do to encourage the bucks to come in is we put out salt blocks right next to the fences like this. So I usually have my salt blocks out there, okay, in my shooting lanes. I move them to the fences during shed time, the end of February, so basically right after hunting season. I move them to fences, so you can see this right here is a fence. Those are my salt blocks because I want the deer to come and lick, and then hopefully they would drop their shed there. I've never actually found a shed next to a fence, but I've heard a lot of people do it like this. So we started doing it like that 2 years ago. And then also, you could see the deer are still using this. Right here, they just come out here and we'll see if we can see it in the field. Nope. My main weapon is that right there, game camera. So we put a salt block out all by itself. I'll throw some apples out or something, put a card in there. You'll see the bucks. Once you see all doe or what looks like a huge doe, then you know to start looking for antlers. I actually have a picture this year of a buck with only half his side. So then I know, hey, I need to go out there and start looking. So that's what we use. That I check my stuff once a week just to see. I don't like people on my property, so that's another reason why we have the game camera and a little cut through so you can catch trespassers. But you'll be able to see when they lose one half, and then you'll definitely know, hey, there's a antler out there. So leave in the comments below how you guys do it, if you guys do it any differently. We're all here to help each other out, and I hope you guys found some sheds this year, and I'll actually show you a really cool shed at the end of this video. Alright, God bless. There it is. It's a cool shed. Just kidding. Stay tuned. I'm going to show you something cool. Alright, one thing I forgot to mention about the sheds is, well, if you get two, you can, during hunting season, you can rattle it. So you're going to bring in some bucks by imitating two bucks fighting. But I use a rattle bag, so I don't use them for that. I just use them as I like to collect them, and it's a good scouting tool. Back up. So this is what it looks like after the rodents have got to it. This was a real nice shed. And then rodents got to it. Basically, I found this in the middle of the summer. And you can see this thing is almost hollowed out, and it has little bite marks all over it. But it's still really neat, and it's almost paper thin in some spots. So I kept it because it looks cool, and it shows you what these animals will do. So what kind of animals would do this? Could be anything from a chipmunk, squirrel, possum. Raccoons are going to chew on it. You know, little voles, mice, porcupine. Could be anything like that. But that is pretty neat. Alright, that's shed hunting or antler hunting 101.